let's get into it because this was a good one.
Okay. Avast me hearties, and welcome once again to Full Stream Ahead. I be your Captain Charlie, the Professor SR. And with me, as always, is me first mate and skinny rich friend.
It's Mozz.
Mozz, I'm so glad you are back, because this one was so good. And I think what I liked best about it is it is a how catch 'em in that clear, this is the whole thing they're setting up, but that there's a later revealed plot that it just blew my mind when I realized, oh my gosh, they planned this,
You think you have almost all the answers the whole way through, and then they drop another bomb on you. You're like, oh, that's interesting, because it's like it's hard when you think about it's so formulaic, right?
Yeah.
At some point, you have to be worried that people will be able to catch on to the rhythm and the melody of how they tell a story. But then occasionally, you do something like this, and it really is so satisfying.
Yeah, and
say, maybe my favorite episode of the entire season so far. I mean, for personal reasons too, aside from how good it was, but as like a theater kid, doing plays and the backstage and the rehearsals and the seemingly mean director that's got, all of that was just, oh man, so nostalgic.
Oh yeah, and again, I will make this a comparison to the last episode too, Time of the Monkey, where you think the people, I mean, the people are guilty, but their earlier presentations had them as these sympathetic, good people, or at least the BA ladies in the home that you want to hang out with, and then it just all starts to unravel. And I think that that's probably one of the themes in this is how this stuff just starts to unravel, how you have this plan and you have this idea. And one thing I love about Charlie is that she really has no idea.
It's starting to bug me a little bit. Well, try to make friends with every accomplice. She catches a killer every time, but she never sees the 30 accomplices coming, and she runs down the line trying to be friendly with each one of them, and then she gets donked over the head. She's like, whoa, what's going on?
Well, and again, because she doesn't know the truth,
right.
She just knows when things are lies. And it's like you start to like make her powers greater than they are, because it's like it's not her power isn't to know the truth or to see the truth. It's just like, I know when there's a lie, and I know when what you told me isn't real. I know that there was something in what you said.
She still had made me think Magoo in her.
Yeah, well, you know what it is? That's the thing. It's she never had a plan, She wasn't trying to use this power to take over the world or even knock over a casino. She was using this power expressly to earn money so that she might, eventually do something different, She wasn't trying to, take anyone down. She just wanted to have enough money to eat and drink and be merry. Because why wouldn't you? That seems like fun.
Yeah.
And then when she got caught, she was like, okay, well, you know what? But he wants to keep her around, so he gives her a job. It's like, okay, this seems fine. I can afford my beer. I can afford my trailer in the desert. Yeah. What more do I want in life,
Yeah.
That's the thing, is what more does anyone want in life? But here she is. So here we have the opening scenario. We have the amazing was it Tim Meadows and Ellen Barkin as as former actors in Spooky and the Cop, which was a
Both are pretty washed up, but wherever Tim Meadows washed up was a much nicer shore.
Yes, and again, I gotta say, the criminal underuse of Jamila Jamil. I don't know, man.
Who is she again?
She was the wife. She played Tatiana on She-Hulk.
Oh, okay. Where is she from?
I don't know, somewhere in the subcontinent.
Done, you know, like
she did The Good Place.
Oh, okay.
That was like the one time she really got to show her emotional depth and range. You know what her problem is she's got Brooke Shields' problem.
Right.
She's actually got Lucille Ball's problem that Lucille Ball found a workaround to, which is that she's a great physical comic. She has great comic timing, but no one wants to see this tall, beautiful woman fall on her face. And what these women have had a hard time finding is, their Desi Arnaz to sort of get them into a sitcom situation where they can sort of build themselves into that role. But Jamila Jamil, she's great. In the few bits she does, has one of the most horrific death scenes. I have that thing just haunts my nightmares because you see her chin hit the edge.
Wait, what scene are we talking about?
When Jamila Jamil dies. When she runs up on stage. When Tim Meadows is having a heart attack.
I kept thinking maybe there was another show where she... Okay, right.
No. I'm talking about this show. I'm talking about this. Did you see The Good Place, though?
No, I did not.
It's a very good show. You should watch it. And then she was also on She-Hulk. She did very little on She-Hulk.
Okay, that's where my brain... Because I thought that was her. She was incredible in She-Hulk.
Yes, I know. She gets her teeth kicked out. She gets... It's a lot of fun. It's a really good
fun in She-Hulk, yeah.
She's a great actress, and she needs to do more. And I want someone to really give her a chance. And what she needs to do is she needs to be in not really a second banana role, but like a co-lead role. She needs a straight man for her character.
Right.
And which is why I hope we get a She-Hulk season 2 where we get to develop her character more, and they actually get to have this friendly rivalry where they punch each other out all the time. But that's my dream for this. Natasha Lyonne, of course, is in her role, but anyway, but it's just so interesting. And the minute I see them having the fight backstage, I'm watching it, it's like something doesn't seem right here. Because in the scene, it all makes sense. They're bitching at each other and they're saying all these things they want to say to each other, even as they're plotting each other's murder. And then the very last bit of it, it's like, I'll dance in your grave. I'll piss on your grave.
The way it was shot, the way it was performed, I kept thinking to myself, okay, in this episode, they're taking a little kitschy liberty. This is a theater episode, so they're going to go a little hammy. That performance felt ham. But I thought that hamminess was coming from the creators of the show. And that's what was great as a psych out for me. I thought it was like a creative license that the creators of the show were taking. But no, it felt kitschy because it was them. And like, what's great about that is that they're just actors. They're still actors at heart. They might be murderers. They might be evil people. But before all of that, they're actors, right? Whatever desire they have to be rich and to get away with this or get away with that could not compare. When it comes down to the urgency and the immediacy of the moment, the prevailing motivation in their minds is to perform.
Exactly.
Right? So, like, that's the thing, that the bug that got them. They had to perform, and they were so like, they were really in their wild oats in that moment.
And to be fair, that was Jamila Jamal's real undoing, because she so wanted Tim Meadows to give up acting and just be her kept husband.
Yeah.
And she thought, well, if nothing else, this will get him to quit acting, having to spend time with her again. And there's a part of me that almost wonders, was the animosity between them real? And then it just, as soon as they're in the same room together, it rekindles the spark? Or did they really plan this like months in advance when, you know, one of them knew the other person was on hard times, or one of them thought this is a way to get back into the limelight, and maybe I know he's miserable too?
In my mind, I felt like they had met up before. He invited her over so he could have this conversation in front of his wife. I thought the whole thing was planned and quite an elaborate facade.
Yeah. I mean, it was really
It might even have
amazing.
started before he married her.
I mean, that's a
Stretch. I know.
that's a
But
rough one. But you know what? I mean, not for nothing. I mean, that's sort of the thing, because he's, as they say, he's, the unlikely sex symbol, where this is what he is. He is this piece of meat
right.
in his own right. And here he is going to come into this position. So maybe it's like, you just need to marry yourself a rich woman.
Yeah.
Then we can kill her and get the money. Although, again, and it goes into that whole idea that, and this I think is the real hilarity of it, is that they didn't even write a new script. They didn't even improvise what they were saying in their fight, which might have made it sound more realistic.
Right.
But that's the thing. It's like they're just reading the script from
and the thing that gets them is they don't respect the millennials' resourcefulness. She's like, oh, this silly millennial with their blah blah blah, the peanut allergies, and then they're like, hey, nobody will be able to tell that we just pulled these lines from an old. It'll be so poetic. We'll use our same lines from back then, and like we just did a little Google search, and it's like there it is,
Yeah. Well, but it was very similar to what happened with Rest in Metal. No one thought using the riff from Benson.
Yeah.
No one realized it because no one had watched Benson, but then all it took was someone to say,
right,
that's actually the theme from Benson.
Right.
It's just brilliant in that way. And again, you have another situation where the first murder is brilliant, the second murder is sloppy, or the second attempted murder didn't actually kill the poor girl. It's weird. I actually thought Audrey Corsa, who plays Rebecca, was someone I had actually done a sketch with once, because she does, when she's preparing, she does that thing. And it was like, and it was just very weird to me because I once worked with an actress who did that.
I think a lot of actresses do that.
Okay, yeah, I'd never seen someone do that, because like, usually when I'm getting, like for me, when I get into character, it's like you ground, you center, you focus, and then you become the new character. You don't do the that's
well, there's a biomechanical aspect of it too, loosening up the instrument, so whatever the emotions compel, the body's ready to match, as opposed to
and that's fine. But it was a different actress, but that's okay. That's from one of my old sketches I did a while ago. But that was for Tia Tarara, called The Girlfriend Experience. You can look it up, kids. It's on YouTube. Yeah.
Name like that, YouTube wouldn't be where I'd first look for it.
Oh yeah, well, it makes fun of the premise of The Girlfriend Experience. I shared it to Facebook recently. You can see it. It's actually, I think it's very fun, because it's like, well, it's like, you wanted the girlfriend experience, all right? Don't go to bed on the first date. What are you talking about? It's delightful. Anyway, but moving on to this one, I liked her statement. I think I'd feel more comfortable if there was a member of the clubfoot community.
They really wanted to ham up that millennial punchline. So it's like, I have a peanut allergy, and I don't feel safe playing a clubfoot person.
Yes, well, and to be fair, it's like in our modern world, there aren't a lot of clubfoot people anymore. I'll be honest with you. Most people who have club feet get it corrected at a young age, because it's actually something that's relatively simple to correct, And for those who don't know, clubfoot is when your foot kind of forms sideways, and you usually have to wear this big orthotic for it. So just to sort of straighten out your foot, and then your leg isn't quite even. It's weird, but suffice it to say,
Technology.
technology, yeah. You know, I mean, that's the thing is like even back then you could actually wear it, you would wear it like an orthotic for it, and oh, it's my event.
Or a brace like she was on stage.
Yeah, well, yeah, because you know because you got to you got to sort of bend that foot so that you can walk, and then you can walk just fine, you know. But moving right along,
I really loved how frazzled the stage manager was.
yeah,
That was hilarious to me.
I mean, in all honesty, what I will say about that is that was a really bad way to kill that actress. Because first off, it creates an immediate OSHA violation that someone moved the padding. You know, and
right.
not for nothing. The fact, because fun fact, you know, no, actually I won't go into that fun fact because that's business stuff. But suffice to say, you actually open up a huge amount of possible legal threats against you killing someone in this way, because by having someone fall through a trap door, which the stage manager originally tells them, we don't do trap doors anymore because it's a 13-foot drop and, you know, it's not safe. And she's like, we're going to do it. And we're going to stage it just like we did there. And I want the place to shake. And everything she does, it is setting herself up to be really clearly liable. That if anyone dying there is her fault.
Here's the thing, though. I think initially their plan was to steal a bunch of money and run to the Maldives or something, right? So whoever picks up the liability, she'll be gone. At some point, they're going to need to focus their attention on litigation on somebody, and it's going to be the theater, it's going to be the landlord, it's going to be the stage manager.
Well,
and so, but they'll be gone if they had stuck to their original plan. If she didn't rewrite the script towards the end, their plan would have been relatively sound.
Honestly, had they just let the play close, their plan would have been sound. You know, and they just said, we're not going to do, but you know, it's like, we have to do another one. The show must go on.
They're actors at heart. Before anything, they're actors.
Yeah, and it's just, it's ridiculous. And, you know, it was...
It looks like they gave one hell of a performance, too.
Yeah, man, I will be honest with you. When the woman falls through the trapdoor at the very end, there's a part of me that wonders, man, did she just die? You know?
Okay, there was that, or I thought she got away.
No, I don't think she got away. The cop was in the audience. I think everything was set up that I
don't know. I like to believe that she might have got away, that she sold him out, because there's several situations that she runs into earlier on where I kept thinking, oh, she planned this so far ahead that even he is a patsy, right?
Oh, so he's definitely a patsy. I definitely
so that's
feel
what I'm
he's
saying.
a patsy.
Maybe this is her saying, he's on stage, they'll catch him, and then they'll go look for me, and I'll be off out of a secret tunnel.
Yeah, well, maybe. It's entirely possible. I think deeper in my mind, though, is that, yeah, she just, like, to me, there's a part of me that really feels she just moved the thing herself and is dead now.
That would be the more poetic thing for
a
disturbed actress to do.
Yeah, and she definitely, as I always say, we can definitely rule out normalcy. You know?
Yeah.
Whatever else we're dealing with, normalcy is certainly not one of the things.
One other moment I thought was really interesting was when they're reviewing the videotape of the performance from before, and he's like, look at her. She's really anxious. She's worried. And she goes, that's the first thing I've believed. Like that moment where she was emoting that, where she was genuinely nervous about whether or not the trap door was going to work. That was genuine emotion. And so it was like, it doesn't have to be spoken for her to, if somebody's intending something, and if you look at it from that perspective, is that intention honest just by their body language? She can pick that up too.
Yeah, and of course that's the thing for bluffing, is that bluffing is all about, you know, it's not like someone says, boy, I sure have a really great hand here. I'm going to bet large because I have
Right.
a
Well, just as far as
great
from where her powers are, does it have to be oral? Is it like some sort of a sound wave thing, or is it just a general understanding of how a body should look, how a body should move, what your natural patterns of flow of your body are, and is this different? Are you more constrained? Are you this or that, or that there's something undescribable in that level? Just the gestalt of somebody, she can pick out if it's off or not.
Well, and like I said, I firmly believe that whatever she is working with, I think it has a synesthetic compound to it, where she is just getting all of this data from everything she encounters. So it's how you talk, what you smell like, how you're moving. Every single thing informs this moment that gets her to that point where she goes, "That's BS," And that, I think, is what is really fascinating about it, because she doesn't always know why it's BS. She just knows
you didn't mean that. That's all.
Exactly. Whatever you're trying to tell me, I know it's not what you're trying. You're definitely not telling me. You're not being honest with me.
Right.
And that is, like I said, I find that an amazing superpower. I find almost everything about the show to be amazing in that way. It's just the way everything follows through, and builds out, and it's just an amazing.
Also, it's a really, really well done show. Like their color palette and the angles that they choose, it's really, really designed to tell a piece of the story that they can't with words. There's a lot of care taken with that aspect too. I really, really love everything about the show.
And this is the episode that I'd mentioned earlier where I said this is one that really reminded me of Columbo. And I said, oh, and I went back when we watched it, they realized, oh, well, yeah, they use all of the Columbo fonts and all this kind of stuff for this. And then they realized, oh, no, they've been using those fonts the whole time. Because this is such a Columbo episode in the fact that we've got celebrities, we've got special guest stars, we've got them reusing an old hack they did in another movie, which is actually another old Columbo gag. Oh yeah, there's one with the woman who killed her husband, but people saw him drive away after he was already dead, and but she had done that in one of her movies, and then they never laid the pipe for the fountain because he's buried under the fountain. It's brilliant, and I love it, and that's what's great about it. It's about people getting caught by these elaborate plans that are always going on, and that they were in their real life just hack performers. But honestly, there's one aspect to it that I really liked, which also now makes me wonder if that was just something that they played for the audience, is when she says to Tim Meadows, Ellen Barkin says to Tim Meadows, if you die tomorrow, the only thing you'll be known for is spooking the cop. And he says, that's fine. I brought joy to millions of people. What more could I have wanted to do in my life? And that's the truth of it. What more do you want in your life than to bring joy to people as an entertainer,
No, but in those moments where you have to decide on a drop of a dime what you do in the next moment, his impulses always go to perform.
Oh yeah.
So it's like that he's trying to convince himself, or it was all a pantomime meant to fool his wife, his unsuspecting wife.
Yeah. Well, the guy who played Larry on Three's Company, I know at a certain point in his life, which a lot of old actors from the 70s and 80s do, they start, just like Ellen Barkin is doing here, or her character is doing here, they do these regional theaters, where they get employed and they go and they show up at something. Now, dinner theaters, not so much, I'll be honest with you. Usually there are actual regional theaters, because there are regional theaters that are like actual theaters. They make their money putting on plays and doing that, but they are never what do you call it, it's very rare that these will also be a dinner theater where people are coming in for the food to watch the show.
Yeah,
Is that
it almost seems like
I really freaking hope not. But
because they were already retrofitted with these listening devices, I'm sure a large portion of their business is probably the 2 or 3 nearby senior homes. And they have deals with them where they buy bulk tickets, and that's why they have all these things readily available for these people.
yeah, which is just kind of weird and ridiculous, but I'll go along with it.
Hey, I mean, like, hey, you find an audience, hey, sing your song.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. You know, but it is just crazy how it all played out. And again, that they had to complete the performance. They had to use it and finish the show.
Yep.
She had to do her drop. That was the only thing that was important to her, and she
never
did
got
it.
to do my monologue.
And she got to do it, and it was real.
Yep.
It was acting. It was her being. She was feeling the weight, and that's what she felt. Any final thoughts on tonight's episode?
No, I really loved everything about it. I love that, like, not only like every single person was a bad guy in this one, right? Every person she turned to was somehow involved in the conspiracy to some degree, even the other actress, Rebecca. So like that was hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, that is interesting. I like the fact that the stage manager was a nice guy.
Yeah.
He was a drunk, but he was a nice guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And like I love that his motivation was pure too. He goes, every day I come in here and I get to witness somebody experience that magic for the first time. That's why I keep doing it. I was like, man, what a beautiful sentiment.
And you know, as a person who works in theater, because I get to do that now, that's real, you know? I mean, really, it is a joyful thing, even if you're just a nobody, you know? There are people that work there that are like, man, this is something special, you know?
Yeah, live performance, it's bigger than any actor. It's
Yeah.
magic unto itself.
Yeah, and I will say that the speakers running in the back, that is real, because we do have that at Paper Mill, where because like now I get to listen to Rent when I go into the green room. It's nice. So when they're doing rehearsals and I just hear no day but today, it's a lot of
Great.
fun. Yeah, well, we're doing Rent now, so that was fun. So it's a lot of it's really cool all around working in the theater, and I get everything that everyone says about it in this. It's like it is a joy and an emotion and a feeling, and I love that she enjoyed it. I love when she actually is talking about the few performances that were real. I love that one of them is Roadhouse. But I'm not gonna argue it, man. I'm gonna like, yeah, Patrick Swayze Roadhouse. That was I can see what she's saying. That's when a person like feels in their moment, you know. But this one, our Rebecca is not our Rebecca, our Kathleen Townsend. She is not only a bad actress, she is a hack. Couldn't even write her own lines. Anyway. All right, Mozz. Shall we wrap it up, my friend?
I think so. I think we got to it.
Okay. So let me just throw this out there to our friends and neighbors who've been listening to us, hopefully faithfully, hopefully enjoying what we do here. You guys can all send us an email anytime you like at CapesandLunatics@gmail.com. That's CapesandLunatics@gmail.com. Tell us about what we might do next. Should we do Strange New World? Should we do Secret Invasion? Boys is still a little ways off, but we're going to have put something in the middle there. But if we do, you can let us know what your thoughts are. You can even call us and tell us your thoughts. Tell us how much you love or hate Poker Face. Tell us if we should have done Mrs. Davis, which I will be honest with you, I've not been able to get through the second episode yet. So,
I did not care for that show. Even
I think Mozz made the right choice. I think Mozz has that discernment. Mozz is like Charlie Cale. He sees it and he goes, not good. Good, not good. Good, not good.
It just had like this weird thing about it. Like the reality was so far from what I felt comfortable with. Like I didn't understand what was going on. I didn't get the motivations for any characters, and things just started happening that started, to me, contradicting the reality it was already building, that it just made me really uncomfortable. And it reminded me of like and I'm not a Wes Anderson fan for that weird kitschy sort of thing. And this was sort of like a really bad version of what Wes Anderson tries to do. But instead of going like in that cutesy direction, they went in that edgy sort of dark direction. But I didn't think they did any of that successfully.
Very good. And I'm not disagreeing with you, Mozz. But if you disagree with him, let us know. Or if you agree with him, let us know. And anything else you want to let us know. That's 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. Likewise, go down into the show notes. Find that link at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. A&D, all spelled out. Go there. You're going to find all of our merch, how to give us money through Cash App, how to give us money through Patreon. Anything way you want to give us money, either by buying stuff or subscribing, or just say, here, have some money. This episode was worth, $5. There you go, $5.
Mm-hmm.
Dance, monkey boy, dance. And I'm more than happy to. Oh, and if anyone would like to talk to you, Mozz, directly, not getting everyone else involved, but just say, Mozz, I got to tell you, this is how I feel about things. How can they find you?
Oh, they can email me at mozzmanzor@gmail.com or find me on Facebook under Mozz Manzor. That's MOZZMANZOOR.
I do wonder how many Mozz Manzors there are in Facebook right now, though. Got over 1 billion people. Mozz is not that uncommon of a name globally.
Yeah, and neither is Manzor, but together.
That's a good point. Anyway, if you'd like to write to me in that old-fashioned email way that our mothers and fathers once do so at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's superconnectivityblog, all one word, @gmail.com. And then follow me on the Twitter as I live tweet things someday when I feel like it at Charlie Esser. I have it for the song. That's CharlieEsser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle.
For quality.
Ding. Thank you, Mozz. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, you have come to the end of another raucous adventure on the bounding main of the internet. Come again next week when we once again sail full stream ahead. Arr.
All right.